So thanks for the video, some really good things here. We're going to talk about a few items that'll make his swing more functional and definitely give you some long-term opportunities to keep generating power. So one is at address. If we could get his left knee, just turn it out a little bit. It's not a huge deal, but just long-term, having that left knee kicked in can cause some restrictions in his pivot. We like to kind of feel like we could put a box from the inside of his feet straight up, and the inside of his knees won't pinch in and hit the side of the box. So definitely he's going to feel a little more space in the knees. And then backswing, pretty good. I like his pivot overall. What we'd like to see is we'd like to try to get the space between his arms to stay a little more constant. That's kind of his takeaway as he bends his arms and adds space between his arms right away. Okay, so just a little ball between his arms, something simple where he wouldn't drop it right away. Okay, the reason is that's going to make his trail arm start to go a little behind him right off the beginning. And if he can get his hips to turn a little bit more than in the beginning, and that's why we mentioned kind of turning that left knee out, then these arms would be a little closer together. But does a pretty good job of managing the structure even with that move, but we like to get that structure a little more cleaned up at the top, meaning where this left arm sits, and he can fix that in the takeaway. Okay, and then when he gets a little, what the biggest part of his swing is, if we watch his transition, as he starts down, you're going to see, and this is very normal for young kids as they're still developing their leg muscles, their knees have a tendency to be a little more slidey and not as stable. So you can see how his hip quite a bit leads his knee. Okay, so meaning this is his hip joint right here in the middle. Okay, and this is his knee. So you're going to see how his hip joint leads his knee. Okay, now the problem that's going to cause is he's going to have to straighten up his right side really early, and then that's going to make him have to throw the club outside his hands early, and that can create pulls and cuts and misstrikes. Okay, so you're going to see now everything straightening up, his right shoulder's going up hard early, his right leg straightening early. Now you can see how everything's going to be really straight coming through, and then what happens is on the right side, down the line view here, you see it looks okay in transition, okay, but his right knee isn't pulling apart. Usually when he slides forward, that steepens the shaft a little bit. You can see how he's got to throw the club outside his hands early to try to catch it up, and you can see how he's probably going to hit that one on the hill because of that. Okay, so step one, just get a little tighter setup with a trail knee. Long term, I know you've probably done for a while the arm separation in the beginning, but just try to use our bigger muscles, if you will, meaning our body. Try to keep that distance between your arms constant. That's going to help you long term. But the big thing is for him, once he stabilizes that trail leg by just turning the knee out, is getting the feeling of how his right knee is going to turn away from his left knee. Okay, you're going to see how they come together, and almost they get closer, where we want to see that the right knee pulls away from the left and there's actually an increase in space. Okay, and that's going to help him keep his right side down longer, so he doesn't have to straighten up right here early and then throw the club outside his hands. Okay, so setup, a little bit of takeaway, but most of transition, there's thousands of drills on YouTube. You know, putting a basket here, trying to drop the basket from between your legs in transition. You can put a band around the outside of your legs, outside of your knees, and feel in transition you're actually trying to tighten it or add tension to it. You can just put a string. Anything you can do for us to get this right knee to start to turn away, from this trail knee. Okay, so again, thanks for the video, and keep us updated on your improvements.